After Golden Sun, I'm doing like a half a year sci-fi cleanse. I think this book pushed me away.
Hi everyone! Hi Paula!
Hi Ksenia!
Welcome to Lore Actually. This is the podcast where we discuss fiction and fiction-related news. So we can go and discuss The Golden Sun and why it didn't work for you. Because, just a disclaimer, Paula rated it at 3 stars out of 5.
Yeah.
And I rated it at 5 stars out of 5.
Yeah, which I'm like, what WTF, girl? WTF.
Yeah.
Like, questionable. You know what? Now in retrospect, even 3 was. I gave it a 3 because the first part of the book, I enjoyed it. I would say the first 18 chapters, I legitimately enjoyed. So I was like, okay, fine. It's not fair if I give it a 2 because 2 is bad. Okay, so it wasn't bad. Just it wasn't good. Okay, I think my problem with the way that he writes and in general with these 2 books is that I don't care about these characters. And for me to be invested in the story, especially a multi-book story, I need to care about the character, at least the protagonist. And I just don't give a fuck about Darrow. I'm sorry, there's nothing about him that makes me care about him. It's not even about likability or not likability. I don't care if he's not likable because he's also not likable.
No, it's not.
That has nothing to do with that. But there's just I'm struggling to create an emotional bond with these characters. It's partly because of the way they speak. I find it very I understand that there's a certain jargon with the golds, okay, but it could have been done in a way that feels more natural. For example, there are characters that, for example, Victra speaks a bit more as I would imagine them to speak, and then the rest are just making weird statements of this long, no one speaks like that. Then the story. I don't know if they should have just ended it then on the chapter with Mustang and not done the last chapter the way that they did. I would have been more interested not knowing what she does than reading the last chapter, which was super predictable because the whole book, there's no Cassius. So you know that he will appear in the last chapter and start shit. This was super, super predictable. There is, you don't just delete a character that you dedicated almost half of the first book to. I was, of course, I cared about Fitchner. Actually, this was one of the only characters I cared about. And then, spoiler alert, he gets killed. And I'm like, well, okay, there it goes.
It was painful.
That was the only, the actual death I was actually, I was really upset about. But the rest, I'm the twist, I could have seen it coming. Am I disappointed that Rogue, turned rogue? A bit. I like the character, okay, but again, I could have seen it coming.
I think for me, this was the most painful one.
That his betrayal.
His betrayal and Fitchner.
Who betrayed whom first?
Yeah.
This is the thing with Darrow. Somehow, everyone around him is just supposed to be okay with whatever he's doing. He's just faultless. But it doesn't work like that. People are not in love with you. Especially we're talking about we are set in this environment where there's a very vain, prideful creatures. The whole point of golds is that they're extremely, extremely vain, so it's not natural. And even Sevro turning out to be half red, half gold makes sense. And how he's so devoted to Darrow, it makes sense with his almost DNA. While it wouldn't make sense for an actual gold to just be blindly in love and follow other people. That's why even the Howlers are questioning Darrow's, when, for example, Darrow gives this sword or whatever the fuck to Ragnar. They're like, oh my God. Yeah, that makes sense for them. Somehow we're supposed to think that Rogue is going to be just okay about being on the sidelines. So I could have seen it also coming. And then my biggest problem is I just found the whole middle section extremely boring. So the whole part 3 extremely boring. The whole fighting, lots of description of them, flying ships, landing somewhere, la la la. I like very dialogue heavy books. Okay, so when there's lots of pages of just description of events rather than people experiencing, let's say, events verbally, I just don't like it personally. It's not for me. And I just find it hard to root for Darrow. And since I cannot root for him, I don't see the point in continuing Morning Star.
You're not going to continue?
I don't think so. Not in the near future. Unless you tell me that Morning Star is suddenly a different, a change of writing style or a change of narration or there's something happening. I care about Sevro. What happens
There's more
to Sevro?
I mean, he's not on the sidelines in the Morning Star.
I don't like that kind of his whole thing is just rotates around Darrow. Like, I want him to be his own man, you know?
It's gonna stop rotating at some point.
He should become Ares.
He will.
He will? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That I would read.
That's not even a spoiler because like this is a very like straight line, progression for him.
Yeah, for sure.
I like the conflict in Morningstar between Sevro and Darrow. Also, like Darrow, as he is basically, captured by Jackal, it changes him a lot. I feel like this is, you don't like Aelin, and I feel like Darrow is like male version of Aelin for you.
Maybe. But you know what? This is the thing. I don't like Aelin, but I cared about what happens to her. This is the thing. So, like, I didn't have any emotional attachment to her, but I was legitimately interested in her path and her story, the whole struggle. I'm just not interested in the struggle here, and I think we've lost the plot a little bit. So what is the struggle? Like, because Darrow is still convinced that he can change goals. At least what the last chapter is telling us is that he can't.
That's the problem of like the whole story. For me, like why it worked, the pacing worked perfectly. I don't get bored by fighting scenes. The tension for me in the fighting scenes works, and that's why like Two Towers is my favorite Lord of the Rings part, because I really love the fighting.
I don't sound like I dislike the fighting.
It's just like I understand that it's like was very heavy.
It's very like military kind of maneuvers and like big strategies and all that stuff, and I don't like that. I think give me like one-on-one combat,
For me, I like it. For me, like I think you need more like a relationship focused, book, I guess, like more character driven, and I really like plot driven things. I mean, I also like character driven books, but for me, the fighting worked there.
Okay.
And the tension felt real, and like the outcomes were kind of unpredictable for me. Yes, the ending was quite, I would say I was shocked, but also like you could predict it. But I also, I like Darrow. I don't know, like for me, he works. I feel like the fact that he lost himself in all of this, how you don't understand if he's a gold or he's a red, and like what is his point. I feel like it makes sense in terms of like in the scope of the series, in the scope of the story, because like he lost himself, and like he like is he good, is he bad, is he like anything. It kind of makes sense for me. Also like Mustangs that she fled, it was also like very logical because like she loved different person. I was annoyed though.
You were annoyed? I was like, okay. I don't know what he expected though.
Yeah, obviously like it was very logical progression of like their relationship, because she has to, process it and like understand like if she actually loves him. And like
out of the characters in the book, the only two characters who are okay with Darrow being red is one who is half red himself, and one is Obsidian. Throughout the book, the more people find out, the more they're disgusted, bamboozled, whatever. That's it, so no one is like on board.
In Morningstar, there are more of them who, like, obviously they all find out at this point, and obviously there are more people who are on board with him. But I don't know, maybe it's just like my genre, and maybe it's not your genre. So
for a series this long, I need to find like more characters interesting. It cannot just be two characters. Like I cannot just like rely on Sevro and Rogue to just like take me through this whole series. I think maybe I need more, like a bit of romance at least. And with Mustang, it's just not giving. Like I'm not rooting for them. And you cannot root for them because he knows that, like, that he's lying to her, like, the whole book. And I know, based on how Mustang is described, that she's not going to be okay with him being red. And if they write her being okay with him being red, it's not true to her character. She needs to have the same reaction as Rogue.
No, she's not, like, the same gold as her father or Rogue or
Ksenia. Sure. But
she obviously is not okay with it.
Yeah.
She will start testing him because she is not for a chaotic revolution, She is not for like killing all the goals.
Yeah. She's like for reform and stuff.
She wants to change the society, and she will basically in Morningstar when they reunite. I was quite happy about that, but she's not. She doesn't go with him unreluctantly, She's like always constantly watching him, watches what he does, watches what he, like how he reacts to things, how he manages like this rebellion and stuff. And he also understands her point what she wants to do with the society, that she wants to reform it in a different way, and that Darrow doesn't want to reform it. So he kind of, grows as well. So in Morningstar is kind of, I think it wrapped up the trilogy like pretty well for me.
So you're not gonna continue with the 4th, 5th, and 6th?
Not at this time.
Okay.
I think the news about Red God are not very promising for this year.
Okay.
I'm not sure if he's gonna release it this year. Because he's still writing. There's like 1,000 pages and he's still writing. And he has to still edit it,
Who has so much to say? Who is the man? My God. Why do you have so much to say?
Sarah J. Maas
Sarah J. Maas had 15 character POVs in there. That's the thing. Like, fine, I agree with you. Kingdom of Ash is fucking long. But there's at least 12 character POV in there.
Well, in Iron Gold, he starts to do POVs of different characters, so...
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm gonna get to Iron Gold. Or I need to start maybe... Because, I don't do audiobooks, but I feel like I could listen to this. Because it could just be in the background, And then, like, if I feel like it's a dialogue-heavy chapter or it's an interesting chapter, I'll just switch to reading. But, like, all of the fucking background, it really could just be playing, like, as I walk the dog or something.
Most of Morningstar, it's, like, more politics, I would say. Darrow obviously is captured and he's struggling and, like, all of... This is, like, his character development story,
Is
basically.
he, like, tortured or something in the book?
Yes.
Damn.
It is brutal.
Damn.
It is fucking brutal. The way that Jackal tortures him, it is...
For what? They already got him. I mean, like, they're out with
just
it.
For fun.
Just for fun? Because he's not gonna... That's it. They know he's a rat. He's not there to help them achieve anything. Like,
yeah, no.
They can't kill him because then he's like a martyr.
They show the fake video that they killed him already, like executed him. But Sevro still believes that he can find him.
And this is another thing about Sevro is that, like, I think we're getting a lot of emotional connection and attachment from him, and not like nearly enough the same from Darrow to him. Like, I feel like I needed more friendship building from them. I understand, like, they need to move on, they have things to do, blah blah blah, but like Sevro saves like his ass, and then
Sevro will save his ass again.
Like, that's it. So I'm just reading the whole book about a protagonist who's the fake protagonist, and in fact the protagonist is Sevro. I would rather just read the whole 3rd book from Sevro's POV, and then Darrow can be like a side character. No, but honestly, like, why? Because from the 2 books, every time Darrow finds himself in some shit and Sevro comes and saves the day.
Morningstar is, I would say they're both like 2 main characters there.
And is there more Rogue in the 3rd book, or he's kind of false?
Yes.
That was for me. I just found that there was a line that I was like, oh no. Like, I could tell that when he says, I would have paid 100 times what your contract was worth to protect you. And then he says, I would have died for you 1,000 times more because you were my friend. And I was like, oh shit, this is the moment I was like, okay, fine. That was a heartbreak. The moment I told you in the 1st book that Rogue is my favorite and I could see your face, I knew that something was coming from the 1st book. So I was always kind of on the fence, like, I'm always a bit, oh, something's gonna happen. Like, it's either he dies or he does something bad. One of the two. So I was always like,
I'm so easy to read.
Because you don't have a poker face, like... That's it. But he was legitimately my favorite. He's still my favorite after Sevro.
He still is.
It's still Sevro, Rogue. Well, Fincher is dead now, so there you go. But that would be the 3.
I think he's like one of the greatest characters of these 3 books.
Yeah, he's very good. Yeah,
I love complex characters as well. So
yeah. No, he's actually like interesting to read. That's the thing, and like
Cassius
his
as well. By the way, in Morningstar, Cassius as well.
Damn, I already forgot about Cassius because he was so prominent in the 1st book and then almost not at all in the 2nd one that I really don't remember how he is.
Well, I mean, if you start reading Morningstar, you will get a lot more.
No, I need like a palate cleanser. I need
we are reading.
What are we reading? Yeah.
Like, I have several options. Don't be scared. It's romantasy. Jesus.
The Book of Azrael. It's not that by any chance.
We can read that. I mean, if you want to.
I want to. But what were you gonna suggest?
I recently found out that there is like this series called Plated Prisoner or something. The 1st book is Guild, and apparently it's quite controversial.
I heard about this.
apparently the first book is the worst in the series, and
sorry, the first review, I'm not even lying, guys. I don't make this up, okay? And then you say that this is a man-hating podcast, okay? First review on Goodreads that at least I get, first line, all these disgusting, sexist, pig-headed men can go to hell.
Are you convinced to read it now?
Literally so many times I had to put the book down and stop reading because of the disturbing scenes. I didn't think it would ever be possible to hate a male lead more than Tamlin, but here we are. Damn. Okay, fine. So what's the concept?
Like if you check the series ratings, the first book is like 361.
Yeah.
And the rest, like the whole series as a whole, is like really great. And third book, I think, is like I saw that it's like a 5-star read, and like people were just like baffled by how good it becomes. But you have to get like through the first book to get there. So I wanted to offer that for exploration of, of the fantasy, romantasy genre.
Yeah, okay, let's see. To be honest, right now, I don't know if I even have I think my ADHD with all these Koreans dancing at me is so strong that I don't know if I even have the mental capacity to read anything. I told you, I'm living my female bird best life, just experiencing mating dances thrown at me from all directions. So this is like all my free time. So I need to get over that a little
this
bit.
Is gonna end up on the internet forever.
That's fine. It is what it is. It's the truth. It's the truth. I've been bamboozled by a bunch of men dancing at me. That's what happened, literally. That's literally how it started. I liked like a choreo video, and that's it. And I'm just like sitting there with my jaw open and thinking like, how can they dance and sing so well at the same time? I need to get over this a little bit. This is my 30s crisis of choice for the time being. Speaking of Court of blah, blah, blah. So do I read the Crescent City or not?
Yes.
So maybe I should read that.
Maybe you should read that. I don't know, like, do you want to read that now?
Well, apparently you're supposed to read it if you want to understand Akotar 6 or something. They're threatening me, Akotar 5.
Yes. No, but
whatever is the numbering, because no one knows
Crescent
the numbering.
Crescent City is genuinely fun. Like, the first part is, like, fun.
And then?
So 2 and 3 are fun, but not my favorite books in, like, whole Sarah J. Maas universe. Okay. The first part, though, is my favorite, I think. I think it's my favorite Sarah J. Maas book, which is embarrassing.
It is embarrassing. Miss Throne of Glass Stan.
You know, like how people say.
No,
people
you just don't know because you're never at the receiving end of you when you're obsessed with something. This is the thing. You don't remember how obsessed you were with Throne of Glass. You were talking to me about Throne of Glass for a year until I started reading it. I'm not even exaggerating. For a full year, Ksenia. Like, it's not an exaggeration. It's just now it's like, oh, yeah, it's fine. Because now you're like a bit over it. But you know what? I will send you screenshots from my chat about Throne of the Manon T-shirt. You were obsessed with that. You're kind of over it. But
yeah, I mean, I think I was like, it hurt for half a year after reading Throne of Glass, and I was like looking for a good fantasy, like romantasy after this, and I couldn't find anything like matching, and then I switched to thrillers because I gave up. I don't remember, to be honest. Yeah, I think I might have been a bit obsessed, but you get it, like. You read it?
I get it. I get it. It was a good series, for sure.
Somebody commented on our TikTok about Throne of Glass that basically Crescent City 1 is like her best book, and Throne of Glass is like her best series.
The best series, yeah.
Yeah. You have to like consider Throne of Glass as a whole.
Yeah, I'll read Crescent City, I guess. I think that's the next read.
Try it, and I mean, we can discuss it when you start reading it.
I'll see.
I'm
very busy now. I'm very busy now. Okay? But once I become less busy. Thank you so much for listening, everyone.
Come back for more.
See you next
Follow
time.
Us on Spotify and YouTube.